My vagina is a shell. A round, pink, tender shell. Opening and closing. Closing and opening. My vagina is a flower. An eccentric tulip. The centre acute and deep. The scent delicate. The petals gentle but sturdy. I did not always know this. I learned this in the Vagina Workshop. I learned this from a woman who really believes in vaginas, who really sees vaginas. A woman who helps other women see their own vaginas by seeing other women's vaginas. In the first session, the woman who ran the workshop asked us to draw a picture of our own unique, beautiful, fabulous vagina. That's what she called it. She wanted to know what our own unique, beautiful, fabulous vagina looked like to us. One woman, who was pregnant, drew a big red mouth screaming with coins spilling out of it. Another, a very skinny woman, drew a large serving platter with a sort of Devonshire pattern on it. I drew a huge black dot, little squiggly lines around it. The black dot was equal to a black hole in space, and the little squiggly lines were meant to be people or things or just your basic atoms that got lost there. I had always thought of my vagina as a sort of anatomical vacuum, randomly sucking up particles from the surrounding environment. I did not think of my vagina in practical or biological terms. I did not, for example, see it as something attached to me. In the workshop, we were asked to look at our vaginas with hand mirrors. Then, after careful examination, we were to verbally report back to the group what we saw. I must tell you, everything I knew about my vagina up till this point was based on hearsay or conjecture. I'd never actually seen the thing. It had never occurred to me to look at it like we were on our mats with our hand mirrors. It reminded me of how the early astronomers must have felt with their primitive telescopes. I found it quite unsettling at first, my vagina. Like the first time you see a fish cut open and you discover the other bloody, complex world inside, right under the skin. It was so raw, so red, and so fresh. And the thing that surprised me most was all the layers. Layers inside layers, opening onto more layers. My vagina amazed me. I couldn't speak when it came my turn in the workshop. I was speechless. I had awakened to what the woman who ran the workshop called vaginal wonder. I just wanted to lay there on my mat, my legs spread, examining my vagina forever. It was better than the Grand Canyon, ancient and full of grace. It had all the innocence and freshness of a proper English garden. It was funny, very funny. It made me laugh. It could hide and seek, open and close. Then the woman who ran the workshop asked how many women in the workshop had had orgasms. 2 women tentatively raised their hands. I didn't raise my hand, but I had orgasms. I didn't raise my hand because they were accidental orgasms. They happened to me. They happened in my dreams, and I would awake in splendor. They happened a lot in water, mostly in the bath, once, in Cape Cod. They happened on horses, bicycles, sometimes on the treadmill at the gym. I didn't raise my hand because although I had orgasms, I did not know how to make one happen. I thought it was a mystical, magical thing. I didn't want to interfere. It seemed wrong getting involved. Contrived. manipulative. It felt Hollywood. The surprise would be gone, and the mystery. The problem, of course, was the surprise had been gone for 2 years. I hadn't had a magical accidental orgasm in a long time, and I was frantic. That's why I was in the Vagina Workshop. Then, the moment came that I had both dreaded and longed for. The woman who ran the workshop asked us to take out our hand mirrors again and to see if we could locate our clitoris. We were there, the group of us women, on our backs, on our mats, searching for our spots, our locus, our reason, and I don't know why, but I started crying. Maybe it was sheer embarrassment. Maybe it was knowing I had to give up the fantasy, the enormous, life-consuming fantasy that someone or something was going to do this for me. That someone was coming to lead my life, to choose direction, to give me orgasms. I could feel the panic coming, the simultaneous terror and realization that I had avoided finding my clitoris, that I had rationalized it as being mainstream and consumerist because I was, in fact, terrified I did not have a clitoris. Terrified I was one of those constitutionally incapables, one of those frigid, dead, shut down, bitter, apricot tasting. Oh my God! I lay there on my mat, reaching with my fingers, searching for my spot. And all I could think of was the time when I was 10 and I lost my gold ring with the emerald in the lake. How I kept searching over and over at the bottom of the lake, running my hands over fish and stones and bottle caps and slimy stuff, but never my ring. The panic I felt. I knew I'd be punished. The woman who ran the workshop saw my insane scrambling, sweating, and heavy breathing. She came over. I told her, it's gone! It's gone! I've lost my clitoris! I shouldn't have worn it swimming! She laughed. She calmly stroked my forehead. She told me my clitoris was not something I could lose. It was me, she said, the essence of me. It was both the doorbell to my house and the house itself. I didn't have to find it. I had to be it. Be it. Be my clitoris. Be my clitoris. I lay back. I closed my eyes. I put the mirror down. I watched myself floating above myself. I watched as I slowly began to approach myself and re-enter. It was very quiet, this re-entry. Quiet and gentle. I felt like an astronaut re-entering the surface of Earth. I bounced and landed and bounced. I came into my own muscles and blood and cells, and then I slid into my vagina. It was suddenly easy and I fit. I was all warm and ready and young and pulsing and alive, and then, without looking, I put my finger on what had suddenly become me. There was a little quivering at first, which urged me to stay. And then the quivering became a quake, an eruption, the layers dividing and subdividing, which broke open onto an ancient horizon of light and silence, which opened onto a plane of music and color and innocence and longing, and I felt connected. connection, calling connection, as I lay there, thrashing about on my little blue mat. My vagina is a shell, a tulip, and a destiny. I am arriving as I am beginning to leave my vagina. My vagina. Me.
Yeah.